And boom, we are back with you, Stony Creek-Revival. This week, we're going to be going over a song called Lonely in a Crowd. This song was written in March of 1977 by Steve Valenzuela and myself. Some of the details are now faded. I'm sure we must have, by 1976, I got my license. So we were now driving to certain parties, being invited, and I remember being at a couple of parties, I think it was a Chico, where I really didn't know anybody. And that kind of was the inspiration behind this. And Steve Valenzuela had the same thing. But it's a universal common theme about being somewhere, but not around a whole lot of people, but not knowing anybody. So the idea of being lonely in a crowd, I thought was very relatable. Kind of a fun trivia fact is that this is one of the few songs that when we did perform live at Rico's Pizza Place in Yuba City, probably in late 1977, Steve was still with us at that time, that we actually got a real favorable response, unlike some of my other songs, which were crickets after we did them. People identified with it. I think a lot of it had to do with it had a very retro 50s style to it. In fact, we even brought Steve Valenzuela saxophone in it. And in fact, when we decided to do Alpha Omega, which would in time become Silly Dream, I wanted Debbie to be able to sing another song, and I thought it was universal enough of a song that she could do it and would be relatable and be able to take advantage of it being in the key of A, which is Debbie's key. I still wanted to retain the rockabilly sound initially, and then my brother and I, we'd been talking about, he's always upset that I didn't have enough bridges. We have all kinds of cooks, but no bridges in the songs. And so I determined I would shake up the song a little bit because it did need it. And I was very inspired by the Mavericks. I had in mind having a Maverick sound to it. But still I had in mind a saxophone. We had even had a person in mind that Matthew had worked on with his solo albums to bring in that saxophone feel. But suddenly, as we kind of messed with it, and we had a new intro and we introduced a new bridge, it began to take shape. And then we had the fateful visit down south. And Matthew, you want to take over from here?
So first of all, you'll notice that we brought in two extra players on this one here. So Summer and Kerry Woods. So if you guys identify yourselves there. So the connection here is that Summer's mother, Robyn, is Gordon and I's first cousin. So we had grown up together here and we were really close. We had always considered them to be the sisters that we never had. We were the brothers they never had. But then they moved down to Fresno when they were still kids. And then when Robyn married Kerry, then they moved to LA. And so then, we just drifted apart, as time goes on.
Kerry, of course, had a connection to Glenn.
Well, I don't want this thing to be 20 minutes long, Glenn's got enough. But what everyone needs to understand is that we are in the face of YouTube royalty right here. Summer Woods has over 40,000 YouTube subscriptions. We have 63. We're hoping to pump you up just a little bit.
Just don't have anybody in Botswana.
That's true. We're big in Botswana, according to Instagram. So
we're international.
So the way that they got into this is because, again, we kind of drifted apart as families. But I'm in communication with my Uncle Bob, which is Summer's grandfather and Kerry's father-in-law, every week. And he's always bragging about Summer. He says, oh, you got to listen to what Summer's got going. And she's got all of this. And so I started following her videos. And then I saw one where she was playing the accordion. Well, it struck my attention because our grandfather, your great-grandfather, played the accordion. And let me tell you what, it was pretty stale when we would go down to Gramps' house. And we were listening to Led Zeppelin and Aerosmith at home, and Gramps would be playing, polkas on the accordion. But we had to put up with it. Your Polish side of the family probably had some of that too, I would think.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So
my grandfather, that's where the accordion came from.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's a 1930s, actually, that accordion that came from Italy to Toronto, Canada to Los Angeles. made
So-
That
it.
is cool.
So I had commented on Summer's thing and said, "Do you really play the accordion?" I said, "I used to watch your great grandfather play the accordion." And I think I was creeping her out like she had some kind of a stalker here, like, "Who are you?" You know? But anyway, it led to us kind of reconnecting then as families. And then, yeah, we got together back in Fresno. And so it's been great to have them. But more than just great to connect as families, but both Summer and Kerry are great musicians. So on this song, Summer is going to be playing the accordion. And then Kerry, going back to Glenn, had that was, in fact, how Summer's parents met, was through our cousin Glenn, who was playing in the same band with Kerry. Was that Glenn's band that you joined or your band that Glenn joined?
Yeah, I joined that band with Glenn in like maybe 1982.
Okay, all right.
And again, the name of that band was?
Brooke Shields' Boyfriends.
That's right.
Yeah.
Man, I'd forgotten that.
Gun to my head when he named that band. I couldn't. I don't think Bob liked it either, but
He didn't like anything.
when Glenn had his
That's
mind
okay.
made up, that's what it's going to be.
That's okay. If Bob didn't like it, that's just a plus.
That's true.
I guess so. Yeah, kind of. He didn't like anything. He was
That's
like
true.
Mikey in the Life cereal commercial.
Exactly.
Carrie, so what was interesting is when we started sharing, clips of what you guys were beginning to work on. What we had in mind was the Mavericks. What I had in mind when we talked down there, and you and Summer, you said the accordion. I go, okay, that would be a cool Zydeco type of an effect. And then we were starting to hear, and I don't know if we really captured Zydeco per se, but it certainly to me was a real change in vibe from what everything else we had been doing. And to me, almost had a New Orleans Fats Domino feel between you and then your dad with the way you were doing the rolling, rollicking piano. So we thank you, because it didn't turn into what exactly was in my mind, but it turned into something very cool.
So the question I have is, knowing that you are a personal close friend of Weird Al Yankovic, was that the inspiration behind you wanting to learn the accordion and on top of all the other instruments?
100%. That was the only reason. Yeah, I was just like really into him. I'm like, I have to do this. So it was like a quest for me, and now it's something. It's a point of pride now. I did it.
And was your dad's accordion laying around the house? I don't think we ever asked.
Yeah, it was actually my mom's. She played it for her choir when she was a teenager in Toronto. And then I got a hold of it, just going through closets and stuff. What's this? My mom said, oh, you can try playing that if you want. I spent maybe 3 or 4 months learning it and got bored with it pretty quick because it's so heavy.
It's really
and
good.
the timing, you have to do 3 things. You have to play bass with your left hand, treble with your right hand, and you have to keep the bellows going. So it's kind of a difficult instrument. And so I gave up on it. And then one day when she told me, I can't remember if you said you wanted to try it or grandma let you look at it or something.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got it out and started messing with it and realized it needed work.
Yeah.
So I took it to an accordion specialist in Huntington Beach, and he said, yeah, this is not worth repairing. I said, why? And he said, because it would cost more than the thing is worth. And I said, well, I tell you what, it's an heirloom. It's in my family and I don't care. So I think he fixed it all up for maybe $400 and it plays pretty good. It's an Italian.
I'm still amused there's an accordion specialist, so.
No, there's probably like 3 left in the world.
He had a crazy garage full of stuff. I was just looking around and I was amazed. Have you ever worked on anything by Weird Al? And he goes, yeah, I fix his accordions all the time.
I didn't even know that.
I was like, wow, this is cool. I'm standing in a cool place.
Summer, you learned something.
So yeah, that was neat. Yeah.
That's hilarious. Well, Summer, you want to introduce your channel real quick and what you do and maybe some of your latest work?
Sure. I mean, I do kind of a mixture of covers and original songs. Like if you go on my channel, the first video that comes up, like the channel trailer, is my latest music video, which is something I animated for an original rock song of mine. And I'm gonna go on a limb and say you guys like the Beatles based on your background there. A lot of my music is inspired by the Beatles too, at least my originals, and I have some covers of bands like, the Beatles, even some like more modern like metal stuff like Tool, and a lot of people like my grunge covers. I do a lot of it just on acoustic guitar, so that's kind of what my channel's been about lately.
Very cool. Very polished. We've all watched the videos and we have the CD you gave Connor. We got it from him, and so we've been enjoying that.
Oh,
so,
fantastic. Yeah, thank you.
It took my mom a little bit of a time to acclimate herself to that, being that she's 91 years old, but she's enjoying it now too. Well, no, to the CD that she got. Yeah.
I wanted to get back then to Debbie, because when I decided I wanted her then to sing this song, she was very excited about the accordion, by the way.
Oh, great.
And that enthused her. And so I started just trying to think of a story that had to be a little different than the original that Steve Valenzuela and I wrote. And so there are parts of it that actually do happen, and parts of it are pure imagination. Any of us who write original know you draw from both to create a story. But the part with the Corona beer actually did happen with her, and it's quite a humorous story. I don't know if you want to.
Well, it's just that I crashed one of his parties in Fort Bragg. I mean, the guys were hanging out at this pizza place that had the beer, IPAs. And I walk in and I see all of them there, and I sit down, and the gentleman comes over, the owner, and says, what are you drinking? And I said, I'd like a Corona and lime. And he looks at me like, really, lady? He says, we only serve adult beverages here. And everybody just started laughing, and I'm thinking the joke's on me. And that's when he started, we were all
that's stuck there. I think that's got to be
now. But I just says, give me your lightest beer and then I'll be fine. And so that's
anyway, that actually.
And then one last emphasis on the contribution of the Woods, is we've talked about Summer's accordion, but Kerry is a fantastic piano player, because I've played almost all the piano, and I play piano like I speak Spanish. I have to translate it through my head, the guitar, and I can basically only just pound out stuff. And Kerry does a fantastic lead and some, that rolling that must come from that Elvis band that you were in, So
I
really
appreciated both of what you did.
Yeah, and that's why I used your rollicking. There was a rolling feel to it, Fats Domino feel to it, which I thought was very effective and kind of staying true to its original roots, which was 50-ish based.
Yeah.
You've been pretty silent. You just taking it all in.
You were right there, front row seats back in '77. What are your thoughts?
Oh, me? But for Lonely, I think the reason that the crowd there at Rico's got into Lonely in the crowd was the same reason that Steve Valenzuela didn't like it, was the saxophone.
Yeah.
Because that one just it blew the doors off the place when he played that.
And that's funny that you mentioned that, because you're right. We had to really push him. He wanted to be the big rock and roll guitar player, and I really wanted the sax to get that 50 feel, and he fought us on that. Yeah.
Yeah. At first, I was thinking it was kind of nerdy, and then when I heard him play it, it's like, oh, this is cool. But honestly, gonna suck up to the Woodses here real quick. That saxophone takes second place to their keyboard and accordion.
Oh, sure.
Yep, absolutely.
Well, Mark, you want to bring us home then, unless anyone else has something they want to?
We have someone else.
Hey. Hi. How are you?
Good. It's great to see you.
And here we have an action.
And we should say this was kind of Robyn's idea. She was like, "Hey, you got to get Summer and Kerry on there." So
that's true.
So thank you for that. We have appreciated that.
Yeah.
Well,
I love the song. Great sound all around.
Great, thank you.
Yes, yeah.
That's cool. I had not heard that.
It came together.
Okay.
In complete honesty, whenever they mentioned about having the Woodses, what's the word?
Participation.
Yeah. I thought that would be, my wife and I were talking about it. We thought that would be cool. We didn't think it was ever going to happen, but we're really pumped up and happy you guys are here. So thank you.
Yeah.
We are too. Thank you. Thanks
And it's not going to end with this one. I've already got an idea.
No. We got more to do.
They're excited.
I can see that.
Campfire songs.
So I usually end with a quote, and I came up with a quote today. And because this song was kind of had that kind of inspired by the Mavericks with the keyboard and the accordion especially, I found this quote, and considering that we did lose Raul Malo a couple of months ago, I thought it was a fitting quote. He said, "When overcoming challenges, whether it's personal issues or health issues, find the best humanity in kindness and empathy. Be resilient. Remember, living is a form of healing. Continue pushing forward. Get strength by telling yourself, you got to keep doing what you love." That's from Raul Malo. And I thought, you know what? Yeah, rest in peace, because that's what we do. We're doing this because we love what we do. And I can see that in Summer's face and the Woods' face. And, you know, because playing music is one of the best forms of healing. It really is.
Yeah.
So, thank you guys for doing this and you're participating. Yeah.
Good to see you.
And we'll see you.
All right, bye.
Good to see you, Robbie.
In 50 years.
Good.
All right, so if you like our channel, man, you got to rock the bars and press the likes and do all the stuff that Mark generally says.
Which I forgot to say, but if you do,
we'll make
Another nickel.
See you later, guys.
Bye.
I love ya.
Okay.
I love you.